Here we go. So guys, welcome to another Twitter My Team hot takes video. So I do this every week. I put a post up on Twitter. I usually drop one of my own hot takes and get you guys to drop your own underneath. As you can see, we've got a ton of them today. I'm going to have to try and get through these quicker than normal because there is a lot of them today. If you want to get involved, guys, drop us a follow on Twitter and you'll see these posts pop up every week. I'll probably drop the next one in 5 days. And if you're new to the channel, you've been watching for a while, whatever, just have a look and see if you're subbed. If you're not, we're only 60 subs away from our goal from this year. But what this video is I basically react to every single one of these and decide whether I think it's a hot take or not. Now, the biggest part of these videos, guys, is the comments. You guys let me know whether you agree or you don't. There is no right or wrong answer. It's all opinion at the end of the day. And, you know, I really want to hear your opinion. So drop a comment below if there's anything you agree with, you disagree with. You know, it's all about perspective at the end of the day. Right, let's start with mine. And like I said, I'm going to move quick. So, my take is 2K22 has been the best year that we've had in terms of gameplay for a long time, especially when it comes to avoiding exploits. The big exploits in the game are Luka on next gen, which most people who run Luka will just take bad shots. And I got to the point now when I see Luka in someone's lineup, I'm happy because I'll just off-ball Luka the whole game. He won't be able to get his shots off, and they'll usually rage quit. Luka players are bots, guys. Like, if you learn to defend them, it's not so much of a problem. But yeah, it's infuriating when those shots go in. Paint mashing with Galaxy Opal Yao, you know, was pretty OP in January. And the other one is backdoor cuts on current gen, which have been in the game for years. And I just think they're just like the ultimate exploit in the game. Other than that, though, guys, if you compare it to last year specifically, the reason I say this is the speed burst in particular on current gen was every single possession. It was speed burst, change possession, speed burst, change possession, speed burst. It was every single time. And we haven't seen anything this year that has been done every single possession without being punished. And I think the speed burst was that last year. So I think it has been a major step up. There's still work to do, for sure. But that's why I say that. Right, let's move on. Killer Josh with his first hot take here. I know he's got to. Go check him out on YouTube. He's doing amazing things. Right, my hot take is that endgame is a way better idea than GOAT cards ever were. So my opinion on this has changed in the last couple of weeks. I agree with this take, so I don't think it's a hot take. I think the endgame cards are a better idea, mainly, not because of the endgame cards, because I think they're quite boring now. I think we all know what we're going to expect, but the other cards that come with them, like the glitch taco the other day that I picked up, is giving everyone the opportunity to have a decent version of a decent card in the game. So we haven't got people that, you know, wanted taco all year and never got him. I think that's great. So I do agree it's a better take. Coach Kobo on YouTube as well. Go check him out. Does amazing videos. Lovely guy. But hot take is the endgame cards are overrated. Okay. The lower badge versions of cards are still pretty good and might be better when you badge them out. I don't want all my players to have jump shot 3 or set shot 25. Make the game super stale. Yeah. I get it. I don't think they're overrated. This is a hot take. I agree with the second part of this. Lower badge versions of cards are still pretty good. Like, my primary ball handler is still Hero Jordan, who came with 35 hoffs. I badged him up to 79 hoffs. So that's what he's talking about. And he's still my primary ball handler. But there's not a huge amount of examples of cards that have the things in animations that really can compete with, you know, point guard Giannis or endgame Taco. Like, I don't think they're overrated, but I get what you're saying, that there are alternatives to those cards. And skill gap does come into it most of the time. Right. Josh again, my other hot take is that mashing isn't as OP as we think. In actuality, it just requires way more effort to stop than we'd like because of how easy it was to get stops in the paint with just our hands up in previous years. This is a good take. So, I think it went from one extreme to another. This is why I think this is a hot take for this reason. Last year, 2K20 as well, just post scoring didn't exist in the game. So they've obviously come into this year and gone, right, paint scoring needs to exist. And that's what Josh is saying. Last year, the previous couple of years, it was so easy to defend that, you know, people didn't do it. This year, they put it in. They've made it doable. Here's the actual problem with paint mashing this year. It's not the mashing. You can defend it. It's the fact that the 3-second violation just doesn't exist. Sometimes it's 2 seconds. Sometimes it's 10 seconds. Like, sometimes, you know, you mash once and suddenly you get called for a violation. And sometimes you can mash 8, 9, 10 times. And when that happens, you just can't defend it. You know, you're not going to predict it. So the actual issue is with the game. It's a glitch in the game that's caused this, rather than the mechanics of how hard it is to stop someone mashing in the post. Right. Jojo, Endgame Magic is the most underrated card in the game. He's my best player on a stack team, but he's relatively cheap I never run into it in Unlimited. I think it's a good take. I think it's a good take. I don't think it's a hot take. Endgame Magic and Giannis are very similar cards. Giannis is 2 inches taller. The issue with Magic is he has a problem with his running style. But Giannis has a problem too. Giannis dribbles with the ball too far from his body and he gets stripped. Next time you watch Giannis dribble on the court, the point guard Giannis, look at how far away the ball is from his body, which really does leave him open to getting stripped. So they've both got kind of issues, but PG Giannis, in my opinion, is the best point guard in the game. A lot of people would have that opinion too, and no one really thinks about Endgame Magic. So I agree. I don't think it's a hot take. Endgame Magic probably is the most underrated card in the game. Right, Ahmed. He's got 2 here. My hot take is you don't need to buy the best player in the game for winning compared to other years at any stage of the game this year. That's interesting. Like, in last year, there is a stage where if you don't have X player, you're going to lose. But it doesn't feel like that. Okay, so I agree. We're getting to a point now, like I said, best card in the game. If you know how to move, a card like LaMelo is going to be overpowered. A card like Endgame Taco is going to be overpowered. For 90% of people who don't know how to move, there's no difference between the entry-level Taco and Endgame Taco. Apart from the jumper. That's it. So I agree. I think it's been the best year for variation. If you actually go back to like this time last year or this time the year before, you would run into basically 5 of 10 cards every game. Everyone was running the same players. Right now, you're still seeing people run opals like Gerald Wallace. The usable cards in this game is probably about 500, guys. It's probably about 500 usable cards. So I agree, it's not a hot take. Right, he's got another one. It's not a hot take. He said it's not. Paint Mash and maybe Blocks only thing I saw as a problem in 2K22 as a problem. It's a really good game, though. Blocks is a good point. Blocks is the other thing I should have included in my original post. They are completely overpowered. Like, the blocks are just broken. That's one thing we need to fix next year. So I agree with that. I think it is a hot take, actually, Ahmed, because I think there's more issues than that. And I think Luca being the biggest one. Right. Okay, so next up, we've got Cool Wave. Triple Threat Online is the worst it's ever been. Huge waste of time. Oh, and the AI is steadily regressing. This is the hottest take we've got today by a long shot. Right, let me tell you about Triple Threat Online. So I think I said earlier, my record is 39-4. It's the best it's ever been in Triple Threat Online. I usually have a win ratio of like 75 to 80%. We're pushing like 90% this season. Here's the reason. I learned to dribble. Honestly, guys, if you learn to dribble and you really know how to get open, TTO can be one of the most fun game modes you can play. I hated this mode 2 months ago. Right now, it's one of my favorite modes. So the first side of this is just an unbelievably hot take. The rest of it, though, he's right. The AI is pretty bad. You're trying to control 3 players at once, and one of them's always trying to do something stupid. So there we go. Trickster, right, you've got 2. Let's do the second one first. Dark Matter D-Rose still holds his own online. This is unfortunate because you posted this a few minutes before they announced Invincible D-Rose. I know when this came through. In Triple Threat Online, sure. In Unlimited, his defense is a problem. His SIGs and animations is the reason you're saying this. And I get what you're saying because D-Rose, you know, a lot of the cards that we like have D-Rose size up, which comes from D-Rose. But the Dark Matter version, nah. Not anymore. Not anymore. The Invincible version, fine, but his height is just an issue at this point in the game. It really is, like with the point guards that we have. I don't think he can compete in Unlimited, but in other game modes, you can have fun with him. But because you've said online, you've been ambiguous about it, I'm going to assume you mean Unlimited, and that's a hot take. Right, another one, I agree with your take. Only thing I hate is TTO and players randomly double teaming. Yeah, I mean, we've touched on this. The defense, the AI defense on TTO is a disaster. Right, Bucks in 6. Smaller guards have had the longest longevity in my team compared to previous years. 100% true, yeah. I think we're finally getting to a point now where they are less usable but not unusable. At this point in the game in previous years, we've been running 6'10 and above, you know, Ben Simmons or up. That's not the case now. People are still running MJ effectively, like competitively. So we've got 6'6", 6'7 guards in the game that are still really strong. And I only think up until a few weeks ago, cards like Steph were still very OP as, you know, in the right hands. I was running Hero Steph for 6 weeks through like April and May. There's never been another my team where I could say that. So not a hot take, really good take. Obi-Wan Kenobi, W name. I think this can be applied to most sports titles, but it's ridiculously unfair to sit there every year and say the game feels the same. I've played every game since 17. They've always changed year on year. Even the ones I don't like, you can see how they built upon them. I agree. It's not a hot take. I don't know how much people say at this point that the game is the same as last year. There is a lot of similarities with last year, but they've definitely evolved it. Like we've talked about, paint mashing, jumpers, we've got endgame concepts, we've got new game modes like clutch time. I think it's completely ridiculous at this point to say it's the same as last year, because 2K have made a conscious effort this year to listen, adapt, respond, and improve the game. So yeah, I don't think it's at all fair. Not a hot take, I agree with it. Next up, we got Pluck. Current gen is better than next gen. Oof. Since the AI defense is so cracked on next, you can just sit corner and let your CPU do all the work. Poor defenders get bailed out by cracked CPU on next, whereas they get exposed pretty easily on current. Dribbling and movement definitely smoother on next, though. This is a ridiculously hot take. I don't agree with this at all. So I play unlimited on current gen. The reason I play unlimited on current gen is because the comp level is way, way worse. That's the main reason. If PS5 next gen unlimited wasn't as toxic and as overpowered as it is, I would stay on next gen for unlimited too. But no way, no way. In terms of defense, like if you're saying defending is easier on current gen, you haven't tried to defend Luka on next gen, which is the hardest thing to do on any gen in this game. Like Luka on next gen completely devalues this argument to me. You guys let me know if you disagree, but saying it like poor defenders getting bailed out, like Luka is the ultimate bailout card, guys. You have to be able to defend on ball and really, really well. You also don't have the backdoor cut issue and all of that stuff. There's no way I can say current gen is better than next gen. It's a significantly worse game to me, current gen. Right, Sean. People should stop being too focused on the MT and the meta cards in the game and actually have fun. I appreciate theme teams and theme squad builders a lot. Okay, I agree with this, but it's a hot take. Okay, let me tell you why. So, I wish this is how the 2K community was, but it's not. All they care about, MT, how can I get this card? How can I build the squad, best squad I can? Doesn't really matter the reason, I just want to do it. It's grinding, it's sniping, it's all of that. It's boring. The idea of fun has been lost on this game a long time ago, and here's why it's a hot take. No one in the community actually believes this. No one thinks like this. That's the problem. My 3 worst performing videos on my channel are 3 fun squad builders. No one is interested in watching someone have fun on this game. They just want to know how to make a bit more MT. How do I get this card? So yeah, it is a hot take in the wider community, but I 100% agree with you. Right. Not sure how spicy this one is. It's from DFS. Right. But removing Showtime and Heart Crusher was a great example of addition by subtraction. Heart Crusher skewed gameplay. I recently played 2K21 Domination to be the first in the world for ball pierce. And my players went cold for standing there. Yeah. So Heart Crusher and Showtime were like the physical badges that represented algo in the game. So the question here is, have the badges been taken out but the algo still exists? Because Showtime would make your whole team hot, which would push your sliders up. Heart Crusher would make your whole team cold, which would push your opponent's sliders down. Those 2 things still happen in the game. Algo's still a thing. We've all experienced it. So I think the 2 things still exist. But I don't know if it's a hot take or not. I can't decide. You guys let me know. I think it's gone, which is good. But I think it still exists in some way, shape or form. Right. Jacob, I'm going to come to at the end. Right. Kerr? Invincible Luka is better than any endgame card they've released and will release besides himself, provided no one else gets Luka's base up on very quick. You're right. You're 100% right. It's not a hot take. The Invincible Luka in particular, like the power within Luka now, I think he's easy to stop. I think we've got 7-foot guards guarding him. I think it's easier to stop like power within Luka than it was even 2 weeks ago. The Invincible one could move and get open, so he creates his own problems. Yeah, for me, the best card in the game has been Jordan, without question. But for the majority of people, it will be Invincible Luka. So not a hot take. Good take. Tori, Invincible Steph, the best PG on the game in the right hands. I literally said this earlier. Now, it's a hot take. It's a very hot take. Like I said, recently I was running Hero Steph as my point guard, and I know what you mean by in the right hands. If you could use that courier escape, his jumper's really quick. You could definitely cook with him. I think at this point, though, it's become a hot take. I think not too long ago, it was a good take. Now it's become a hot take. It's going to be way harder for Steph to get round point guard Yao or shooting guard Taco or PG Giannis. I think defensively he's going to cause a problem. Like, Invincible Steph won't be able to defend point guard Giannis. They've got the same animation, that Curry escape. One of them's going to get a lot of stops, the other one ain't. So, yeah, I don't agree. And I'm good with Steph. He's one of my favourite cards in the game this year. Right, Ben. 2 from him. I don't think backdoors are crazy because of how easy it is to block dunks. That's good. I think next gen needs cuts. Oh, no. The AI shouldn't be getting backdoored more than maybe 3 times, depending on settings. If a person's falling asleep off ball, they should be punished. I agree with the last bit. No, it's a hot take. Do not put backdoor cuts on next gen. They exist, actually. There's 2 ways you can do it. You can do it using 2 buttons, which most people are too lazy to do. Or you can actually set, you know, the handoff animation. You can set that to actually control another player, which is another way of doing a backdoor cut. So there are ways of doing backdoor cuts on next gen, but I don't want to see you press triangle and you backdoor cut. Because even if you're like on balling, the AI goes to sleep. The AI is not good enough to handle backdoor cuts in this game. So here's a hot take. It's a hot take. Right, what's your other one? My team up could single-handedly make tens of millions of dollars and easily pull players in. There's an unlimited amount of VC to spend on packs, where, as in Park, you can only spend a set amount. Also, this would be more fun in clutch time, big W's around. 100% agree. Not a hot take at all. The one thing that we've been wanting for a long, long time is my team up. It would completely transform the game. I don't think they're ever going to do it, because I think it will distract from everything else. And you know how you say they're going to make money? I don't know about that. I think you'll get people who will literally just play my team up. So they'll get that one card that they want to use, and they won't get any other cards. 2K needs us grinding the game. Game time is the most important thing to 2K. So if we're not on the game, playing all the time, endlessly grinding for cards that we're probably not going to use, that's a problem for them. So I don't think it's something we're ever going to see, but it would be the best addition they could make to this game. Okay, let's go to Jacob. I've left this for last for a reason. My hot take is that everything you listed above is far worse than any exploits over the last 3 years. At least with the Burton tweet, I had some faith in myself stopping people doing those. I have zero faith in getting contests on Luca. Right. I've left this last for a reason. First of all, this is the first time Jacob didn't ratio me, so that's a W. Secondly, this is complicated, because Jacob is the reason I don't agree with Jacob. But it's also the reason I understand Jacob, right? Let me explain. I don't think he's talking about, like, when it comes to exploits, the speed burst last year was the worst on current gen. It was the worst. I didn't have next gen, so it wasn't like I had the choice. I only had current gen. I didn't get a PS5 till right at the end of the year. And every single game was speed burst, possession changes, speed burst, possession changes, speed burst. It was non-stop. Every single possession. This year, there is nothing that people do like that. Apart from maybe Luca. But we know if someone doesn't know how to use and move and groove with Luca and get open, you can stop him, guys. And it causes rage quits a lot of the time. But I think this is what Jacob actually means. Because he taught me, his videos taught me how to have fun on this game. It transformed my whole experience of 2K22. Until May, I was that guy who was like cheesing with Luca, right? Maybe till April. You know, I'd just take bad shots because I could and I knew they would go in. But when I learned to dribble watching Jacob's videos and started running through cards like MJ or Finley instead, even cards like Jabari Smith, I started to realise that, one, I was having way more fun with the game, and two, I was having way more success with the game than I was with Luca. So the reason I don't agree with Jacob is because Jacob showed me that it's actually more overpowered not to use Luca. Like, that's the situation for me. Now, I know a lot of people aren't going to agree with this, but go back and watch my videos for the last month, 6 weeks, and look at me cook with those other cards. I'm not doing that with Luca, guys. I'm not doing that with Luca. Some of the shots that I can hit with, like, MJ or even Jokic off the tray escape and things like that, yeah, I'm not doing that with Luca, guys. I also think Luca's become less overpowered as the year's gone on and the defenders have got, you know, lengthier and easier to stop. But here's the bit that I agree with, because I think Jacob is talking about fun, guys. When Jacob spent a lot of the year talking about why do cards not have fun animations, I didn't get it because I didn't know how to use them. I was like, you know, I'm fine. I'm shooting bad shots of Luca. They're all going in. I'm getting every card. It's fine. And then the cards started dropping with those animations. And then I learned how to do them. And then I understood it. The way Jacob plays this game, he is the ultimate dribble head. He's competitive. He's playing at a high level. So he spent the majority of this year not having cards that he could use, have fun with, and instead be faced with a meta, which is people taking bad shots with Luka. That is frustrating with natural motivation. I got to a point where I think Luka was underpowered by the time I learnt to dribble, and I'd played the game all year in multiple different ways. So it didn't have that effect on me. But I completely understand what he's saying and why he's saying it and why it's absolutely true to him. But in my opinion, the exploits on current gen last year was so far and above this. The repetition of that speed burst was insufferable, guys. That's my opinion. Right, guys, this is the point where you drop your comments. You let me know what you think. We'll do this again next week. Like I said, guys, we're 60 subs away from our goal this year. Drop a sub if you like, if you enjoyed the video. That's everything. Until next time, thanks for watching.